Hello, fellow gardeners. Can you believe we're over into year 2021? Let me take my mask off. We wear it out in public. We believe in it to wear it, protect other people. Since we're here by ourselves, I'm going to take it off. I don't think you can give me COVID. I don't think I can give you COVID over this screen, but we'll see. We want to talk to you a little. Gardening time's coming up here very quick. So let's get around and review some of these things. I'm getting some text from people asking about this and that, getting ready for spring. They're ready to, they're getting ready to get their seeds. Some of them's already getting their tomato seed in the ground, their pepper seed in the ground, because it takes 4 to 6 weeks on tomatoes. It takes 6 to 8 weeks on peppers. So if you're putting your peppers out in March or February in a high tunnel, you got to get them in the ground or they won't be ready. Anyway, today we're going to talk about doing a little hydroponic greens. Lettuce, spinach, bok choy, collards, kale, just something like that. And I know you can go to Arms Family Homestead. One of my friends here close that he's done a little video on this last year about it and had success with it. We're going to just make a little video here for you and tell you what we're seeing. I have some guys that's growing in big boxes, big containers, that's growing a lot of this beautiful lettuce, broccoli, cauliflower. He brought me some broccoli the other day that was that big around heads, and he had some cauliflower like into this. So all you got to do is put a little fertilizer and water in it and set your plants in it, and here we go. So we're going to talk about that right now. But anyway, welcome to the video. Hope you're having a happy new year. All right, the first thing I'm going to talk about is this little bucket right here. I know there's people that wants to do it in a small scale, a lady by herself or a man by himself, or maybe a young boy or girl that wants to play a little bit with hydroponics. What we did, we got these little, that's about I think it's close to a 2 or 2.5 gallon bucket, something like that. I think it's less than a 3, because this is a 7 gallon bucket right here. 5 is a little shorter than this, but anyway, so you can use either size. This size, you can use up on these 25 gallon totes, anything. This is one way we're going to do it. We're going to take this little bucket, this little 2 or 3 gallon bucket. You can get them at Brahms. Sometimes they empty them, give them to you, or sell them to you for $1. Any place that that's got icing in them, they bakeries. I'm just telling you, a lot of places that do that. A lot of people get their syrup in it or pickles in it. So you can get these buckets at a lot of places, or you can buy them at your chain stores. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to use a bucket like this, whatever size it is, no holes in it, just the bucket. Then we're going to take a piece of styrofoam. I don't know, you get a lot of packaging that's got styrofoam in it you could cut this out of. You want it to where it'll float in that bucket and it can drop all the way to the bottom as the water goes down. So you cut you a piece of foam, cut you 3 holes in it, just big enough for whatever pot you use. Now, I've been telling you, I've been conservative. These are little pudding pots that Judy and I have slipped around and eat a few of, You buy them 4 of these in a little pack full of pudding. And anyway, we wash these out. Now, you're going to have to drill some little holes down here around the bottom, in the bottom, and get it where water can go in the bottom of it. And so all you do is set those 3 little pots right down in that foam. Now, I cut these where these pots will just touch the bottom of that foam. We could have them out just a little bit. I've got one customer that I know of that's putting them all the way down in there and letting them stick down in the ground in the water about 1 inch. And he's putting his foam down in there and putting his lettuce seed in it and having wonderful results. With my cucumbers and squash and tomatoes, that I grew a couple of years ago, if I put that pot very deep in the water, it would drown that tomato and that cucumber. And I know a lot of y'all had the same problem. So what I'm saying is, I think the best way is to put it even with your foam, just where it just touches the water. Because what you're going to do, you're going to fill this container that you have with water with some fertilizer. Now, if you have my Nature Source 1043 on hand, use it. 1 teaspoon per gallon of water. That might be a little strong for lettuce if you really want to get technical. Use about 3/4 of a teaspoon per gallon of water, and you fill that up ever how many gallons it takes to go in there. Just mix it up in a gallon container and pour it in there, and mix you up another gallon container, 3/4 of a teaspoon per gallon of water, and pour it in there until you get it full. And then you're going to set this in on top of that water, and it's going to float right there in that bucket. I put this in there just to handle to pick it up. You don't have to put this in there, but it was just, I didn't have it in there, and I couldn't find any way to pick this up, so I put this little piece of pipe, just drill me a hole big enough it sticks in there, and I can just hold it like that. I'm just trying to do it cheap without spending any money. You know, it don't have to be that big around. It could be a 1/2 inch, just something you got on hand that's scrap that you can make this out of and do this cheap. Set it right in there on that water and let it float. You're going to put your plants in each one lettuce plant in each one of these. You can take a piece of cotton, pull that cotton ball apart a little bit, put your lettuce seed in there. Now don't put over a couple of lettuce seed in there. If you put 4 or 5 lettuce seeds, it's going to grow matted together so much it doesn't make you a pretty head. Put just a couple of seeds in that cotton, drop it right down in there where it touches that water, and you know, you can watch it. You just barely want that water up in that cup. You can push it down a little bit if you have to get where the water's standing there just about 1/8 of an inch deep in the bottom of your pots. You put your cotton ball in there with your lettuce seed in it, and you are good to go. Just in a few days, that lettuce will be up and growing. You've got it sitting on that water, and you can forget it until it gets up here big enough to eat. That's how simple this hydroponic growing is. So we have that container made. You know, if you have any questions, go back and look at it again. I think we've explained it pretty clear. You won't have to add water. If you like this video, punch that button, thumbs up, get a notification bell rung, subscribe please.